Hello, welcome to GrumpyWerks. There are 5 reasons that I left. I'm going to share those reasons with you. Stay to the end to learn the most shocking reason why I left corporate America. On paper, I had everything. Good salary, great benefits, security in my job. Why did I leave? Reason number 1, my health. In 2023, we discovered through a lucky medical test that I had an aortic aneurysm, and that is caused from high blood pressure. So high blood pressure, why did I have high blood pressure? Well, at the time I was smoking, not eating the best of foods. I've changed that now. And stress. When you work in business as a manager, such as I was, especially if you're in a position as a standalone manager, you bear the entire responsibility for everything that goes wrong coming downhill and everything that goes wrong going uphill. So in my position, there were no other managers to take on this. It was only my managerial position to handle all of it. Everything from maintenance to purchasing to people management on the hourly level, all the way up to customers, and it was a hard task. So the number one reason for me leaving was my health. That was first and foremost. If you don't put yourself first, there's no way out of it. You're going to lose. So you have to make that decision, which is what I did, that my health had to come first. The second reason that I chose to leave corporate America was a misalignment of values. Up until from 2016 until 2023, I had a president that I worked under for that company that was a great man. He was a hard man. He was a real man. Not like the people in today's world that do not share the great values of strength that built America. That's what I was raised by my grandfather and by my father to do. Be at work every day, work hard, and achieve something, achieve goals in life. In today's world, from what I've seen, especially with the new president that took over after the former president retired, the values of the company completely changed. There was a complete reversal to a more lackadaisy standard. One of the last things that I was told was, well, we're only going to hold, if people have absences, we're only going to hold that against them for 30 days, and then those are going to drop off. We're only going to hold it against them for 30 days. So they only, out of the 2,080 hours a year that I pay them to be there, they can miss 100 hours of that. That's not what the vision that I had, or the values that I had for where I wanted my life to go and what I wanted my job to entail. That I couldn't manage it. There's no way I can manage a facility with limited number of people and have the ability for people just to be out and not be at their job and doing their job. That didn't make sense to me. The next reason why I left was lack of long-term vision. Again, working under the original president that hired me to work at that company, we had a vision. There was a plan for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We had a vision laid out as to what our goals were and what we needed to achieve and how we were going to get there. There was a full team of salespeople that worked for us. There was a full organization of estimation department that was knowledgeable and worked for us. There was a full team of management, and the support was there, although I was a standalone manager in a completely different state than the original headquarters where all other management was located. I still had a support system. If I had a question, I could call. If I had a problem, I could call, and there was somebody who could assist me with going in that direction. If I was short on revenue for the month, there were people that I could pick up the phone and call and tell, hey, we're only sitting at X amount of dollars for this month. We need to put a push on the sales department to get more revenue income for this facility. After the original president decided to retire, all that went away. There was a salesman that was hired, and his health went downhill. significantly. He had to have major open heart surgery. And they released him in 2024. Then they hired another sales professional the same week that they terminated the other one. And he quit within 2 months. No reason given, just vanished, just went away. There was no salesperson in that office from 2025 until 2026. When I began deciding to retire, to leave the corporate world, the overworked estimation department had also been assigned the task of sales. That wasn't going to work, and I knew it. That the vision of how that was going to go, the goals, there was no longer any meetings of managers. There was no longer any meetings with leadership to determine this is where we're going to be in 2 years. This is what we need to do to get where we need to go in 5 years. This is, okay, we hit a problem and we lost a customer. How are we going to replace that customer? There was no direction of that. There was nothing pointing at how I should do my job other than the day-to-day task of manage people, manage machinery, manage maintenance, manage purchasing. That was the bottom line of it, and our revenue stream had begun to go downhill. The last straw with me on that course was the new president coming to me and blaming me for the reduction in sales, the reduction in revenue. That stood badly with me. It's, if you do away with your sales department, how are you going to generate revenue? I'm trying to manage 16 different aspects of this building in a standalone capacity. I can't run sales too. That you're asking too much of me. So it just, no paycheck was then worth what I was going through. There was no paycheck that was worth that. There was no benefit that was worth that. There was no security actually that was worth that. The fourth reason why I left corporate America and went into what I call semi-retirement. I mean, what I'm doing here on YouTube, this is one part of the plan to go forward. There's other parts where I will be doing things to make money, but that's for another video. I'll talk about that in a different video. But the fourth reason was the personal growth ceiling. I had achieved everything that I wanted to achieve when in the 9 years that I worked for that company. I had achieved everything that I wanted to achieve, and because there was a misalignment with the values and there was no goal, there was no long-term vision from the company president, I was as far as I could go. I couldn't go up the ladder any further. There was no shift left or shift right. I was just stuck in the same position doing the same thing. I was becoming stagnant. My mind was losing focus. I was not able to direct my attention, and actually, I guess I had early retired, if you want to call it that, at that point. I mean, I'd just gotten to the point where I'm not going to let my health suffer. My values don't line up with the company president. There's no long-term vision, and there's nowhere for me to go in this company to go up or to go sideways. The final thing, and the surprising thing, is just something that I have to state. I no longer had confidence in leadership. The leadership had failed me. They put me in a position and expected me to make lemonade without lemons. They put me in a position and expected me to reach a goal that was not attainable because they wouldn't give me support to achieve the goal. My thought process is this. You have to be in charge of yourself. You have to take care of your own health. You cannot continue to sit in a position that is like spinning your wheels. You're stuck in a sand trap. You with no way out. There's nothing left for you to do at that company. And you see within the next 2 years that company will close, or this division at least. The company itself is a strong company out of the Midwest. However, the division in South Carolina will close. It will close within the next 2 years. and I didn't want to be the one with my name on that at the end of the process. The ultimate of this is when you lose trust in leadership, you feel disconnected from the mission, you see no real path forward, and your health starts declining. Leaving isn't a dramatic thing. It's a responsible thing. Have a great day, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, please leave a comment in the comment section. I will respond to every comment, and subscribe to GrumpyWerks. I will keep going with more videos such as this. Have a great day.